This is the third Rituxan Infusion. I figured we'd start out here where it's actually happening. And let's see, since the last video, uh, I had like a chest infection and a sore throat, and they just gave me some antibiotics to take. And thankfully that all cleared up before the infusion. Otherwise, I would have to wait again. So we got started. All right. I just want to. Here's the. You see the setup. That's the injection site. You get a choice of which arm you want it to put in. Okay. And right now, Rituxan is going in there. It's probably it goes for about a half hour. They switch bags, and then they another half hour. They switch bags. About 2 hours altogether that I have left. Okay. Before that, they gave me some Benadryl and some Tylenol. Like I said, Benadryl makes you a little tired, and some steroids. So right now, the Rituxan's going in. I don't feel anything different. You can see the pole back here. Okay, that's my cameraman is Mary is doing a bang up job. Okay, there you go. That's the Rituxan up close. All right. All right, and basically that's just it. I come here and I sit here and they infuse me, and I'm here for about usually about 4 hours altogether. Okay, and then I go home. Today I'm hoping to play golf. So we'll see. Okay, that's good.
Hey everybody, the third infusion is done in the books. No problems, no reactions during the infusion, no real problems afterwards. The next morning I have a little indigestion, which the first time I thought maybe I was having a heart attack, but it goes away after a very short period of time. So I just have to get used to that. That usually happens, and you know the only thing that did happen was Tuesday. I had the infusion on a Friday. On Tuesday, I was really tired. I mean, I was at work and I just kind of crashed, and thank God it was a easy day at work because I was able to kind of like stay in my office and just try and do paperwork, you know. But that's one of the things I've been watching on YouTube. They have the Vasculitis Foundation, and they have a symposium that they did in 2010 on there with doctors answering questions and stuff. So it's a little bit dated because Rituxan was pretty new at the time, But one of the things that they're saying, one of the doctors said that his patients tell him that they get up in the morning, they feel good, and then by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they hit a wall, and they're done. And that pretty much sums up the way I feel. Okay, I get up in the morning, I feel okay, I go to work, and usually with me it's usually by like 12 o'clock or so. I'm pretty much done between 12 and 2. And one of the things the doctor said is that with the prednisone, you're going to put on 15-20 pounds, okay, and you're also going to lose 20% muscle mass. So you're carrying around more weight with less ability to do so, and that tires you out. And I think there's also something with the prednisone too that really gets you tired because I felt this way from the very beginning. So that has got me to think about how I want to fight this, and what I've decided to do is I'm going to try and take a leave from work, 12-week leave, and just focus on me, focus on my health. Okay. One of the things they talked about was doing weight-bearing exercises. Okay. They also talked about some supplements that you can use, because prednisone does some pretty good things, but also has some very bad side effects if you have to be on it long term. And anybody with a vasculitis type disorder has to be on it for a long time. So we're talking osteoporosis is one of the big things. Okay, so they talked about calcium and vitamin D. They talked about proper nutrition. Okay, and they talk about weight-bearing exercises. Those are all things that you can do. So I'm gonna focus. I'm gonna take some time to focus on me, focus on that nutrition, focus on, instead of using up my energy sitting at work, doing paperwork and talking to people, I want to get out walking, ride my bike, go to the gym. Okay, and then at the end of the 12 weeks, I can see what happens. Okay, so it could turn into long-term disability, or I could end up going back to work. So we'll see. But I'm a little excited nervous about it, and excited about it. So that's what I've decided to do. Real good news is that the most recent labs I had came back, and they're all pretty much in the normal area. The creatinine is 1.3, which is at the top of the normal scale. Everything else is looking pretty good. There's only two things that are outside the normal area, and that's protein and blood in the urine, and that's just a little bit higher. And that has to do, of course, with kidney functioning. So I even asked the doctor, how do we know the Rituxan's working? What markers do we look for? And one of the things she said that's a good question, because it's pretty hard to get better than normal. So she's saying you're looking so good right now that the Rituxan, it's going to be hard to actually say if it's moving any of your numbers at all. Okay, but you got to remember what Rituxan is for. Okay, Rituxan is to knock out your immune system so that it stops doing what it's doing. Okay, good. So, and that's another thing is with Rituxan, whenever you have the infusions, okay, one of the things you got to remember is to make sure you drink a lot of water afterwards, flush it all out. Okay, when you think Rituxan, think it's not just toxic, it's retoxic. Okay, I don't know if they would use that as their ad slogan, probably not. But when the nurses come in to do the infusion, when they put that bag up, when they go to take the bag back down, they wear the shield, they wear the garb, okay, they wear the gloves, they're protecting themselves from this toxic substance. The last thing that they do when they do the infusion is that they inject saline into the injection area, basically to flush it. And what they're doing is they're making sure all the last bit of that toxic substance is safely put inside your body, so that when they disconnect the needles and all that, they don't get any of that on them. So this stuff's inside you. It's supposed to be inside you, okay? And but once it's done its job, you want to flush it out as quickly as possible, okay? And they even tell you that you should, if you have two bathrooms, you should use one bathroom for you and one bathroom for everybody else, because toxic waste, okay, for at least for a couple of days. If you don't have two bathrooms, they tell you to flush twice, just to make sure that you get rid of the toxicity. So drink a lot of water, okay? That's real important. And of course, as always, use this stuff, and always, clean your hands, wash your hands all the time, okay? Have people around you do the same thing, okay? So, what else did it, I think that's about it, okay? So things are looking good, and we'll go on to the fourth one. All right.